drama in Tamil Nadu as a state minister arrested on charges of corruption broke down in tears and was moved to hospital where he's been recommended a bypass surgery. I'm Barkha Dutt here with the Mojo story. These dramatic images from Tamil Nadu are grabbing the headlines. State minister we are seeing State Minister Balaji, Senthil Balaji, arrested and then breaking down in copious tears in videos that have gone viral. Later at hospital, the Chief Minister of the state, MK Stalin, met with the minister who formerly used to be with the AIA DMK. The minister was arrested on charges of money laundering. This is, of course, the jobs racket scam that actually started not in the tenure of the DMK, but on the watch of the previous AIA DMK government. The allegation was that jobs were being doled out for bribes and then the jobs weren't being delivered at all. This has, of course, led to a full-scale political battle. The DMK and its allies are calling this vendetta politics. The other side is reminding the DMK of what they once used to say about this particular minister when he was on the other side of the ideological trenches. Either way, the images are dramatic, the debate is polarized, and it reminds one, for those of us who are old enough to remember, of a time when Karunanidhi faced similar action. What will be the political aftermath of what has happened in Tamil Nadu? Let us introduce our guest. We've got a full house today, and let me bring up our guests one by one. Mohan Kumaramangalam of the Congress is with us. Good to see you, Mohan. I think it's your first time on the Mojo story, so welcome. Sriram Sheshadri is back with us. Good to have you back with us, sir, political analyst. Also joining us from the BJP is Shrikant Karunesh, the BJP spokesperson and leader. Good to see you, Shrikantji. And with us is Madhavan Narayan, veteran journalist and commentator. Welcome to the program. And also up on the program is Syed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK. It's good to see you, sir. And also joining us is Sumant Raman, who's a senior journalist. Let me actually start by showing you there are many different angles of this particular video, and I want to bring up what news agency ANI put on their screen just moments ago, because it's the clearest image that you actually see of the minister in his car, and you can see him crying. He's weeping, and he's almost pushing the people who are trying to arrest him. He's later moved to hospital where the doctors have recommended a bypass surgery. So let's just listen in briefly to the chaos around those scenes. So it's those images are dramatic. They have a sense of deja vu for those of us who've observed Tamil Nadu politics long enough. Let me start getting reactions. I want to actually start with the BJP leader. We'll come to the DMK in a moment. Shrikantji, you see this man crying in pain. He's now been recommended. Shrikant Karunesh, if we can go to him. Shrikant Karunesh, you see him, and he's been actually recommended for a bypass surgery, and the DMK is saying vendetta politics. What would you say, Mr. Karunesh?
See, first of all, the thing is on humanitarian ground. If he's really suffering, he has to be given a right treatment. That part we are very clear. In fact, our leader is also very clear about that part. But very, very much in Tamil Nadu politics, whenever a leader is arrested, immediately they get some heart disease, some heart problem. This has been happening for decades together. Whenever they are taken into custody, immediately they will say, I have some heart pain or something. If he is really suffering, yes, he deserves a good treatment. And there are quite a lot of agencies other than the government of Tamil Nadu hospital. AIMS are there, many other hospitals are there. Definitely they can come and check him, recheck him. ED has got enough legal competency to check whether really he is suffering. If he's really suffering, he has to be given a right treatment. So that part we don't deny. But the thing is, you see, earlier also many other leaders, I don't want to name it, it will become controversy. Many other leaders, whenever they are arrested, immediately they'll claim for some heart attack or heart pain. They will get admitted into the hospital. They can prolong it for some time. It cannot be prolonged for a long time because it will be proved that whether they are really having a problem or not. I think immediately, because this morning he went for a walk, he met the press, He said everything is going normally, nothing is happening. Immediately when the arrest part took over, no, he gets this heart problem or heart disease, heart block, something. So earlier he was very much.
Are you saying are you saying he's fabricating it? The doctors say he needs a bypass surgery, right?
Yeah. When the chief minister and the minister for health is standing by the side in a government hospital, the doctor will be induced. और क्या बोल सकते हैं? तो there is a chance. I have a doubt. देखिए, really मैं इसीलिए मैं at the very outset I said very clearly,
Yes.
really suffering, he deserves the treatment. Otherwise, अगर ड्रामाबाजी है, नाटकबाजी है, तो he has to be. That has to be found out by the competent authorities.
Let me bring in Saeed Hafiz of the DMK. You have the BJP leader here suggesting that every time there's a corruption case, somebody has chest pain, and that is the fact that how a lot of cynical Indians will look at these images. Not to take away from, as Mr. Karunesh said, if he's really in pain, he should get the medical attention he deserves. But it doesn't take away from the core of this case. This case didn't start with your government. It started with the previous government. At that time, he was with the AIADMK. Just for people outside of Tamil Nadu, this had to do, or it began with jobs recruitment in the Metropolitan Transportation Corporation. And in one line, it is basically that bribes were being taken and jobs weren't even being given. The DMK was at the forefront of attacking this man. Why are you defending him today?
See, when he joined a party from AIADMK, it was told that he has to contest the case and DMK will not help him in this case at all. And he agreed to it, and the case was being fought in a legal and just way, and Senthil Balaji was doing it. Now the point is this. So this is not really happening with DMK. Why does the ED does not smell anything in the BJP ruled state? If BJP is claiming that ED is independent, what is stopping it to take action on the Karnataka minister? If that is the logic, by now the entire Karnataka cabinet who was in power for last 4 years should be under the custody of ED. There are so many corruption charges against them, and one contractor died alleging a 40% pay CM campaign happened on the same issue. So now the question is, this is a pattern, and the BJP is using this as a political tool to harass and intimidate.
Do you believe Senthil Balaji? Do you believe Senthil Balaji is not corrupt?
Senthil Balaji is fighting his case in the court in a legal way, and he's been cooperating with the agencies. And this case is happening for 8 years. Even last month when the issue happened, he has cooperated. Why do you arrest somebody when there is no cooperation? He's a minister of the government of the day. He's here. He's not going to run away. He's appearing to your summon. He's doing everything possible. Out of nowhere, you come into the secretariat for to find some evidence which happened 8 years back, where the secretariat office has kept on changing. And one more point, this whole health issue came up. For last 18 years, Senthil Balaji has some serious health ailment. He has a history of medical diseases. Despite this fact, for continuous 18 hours, yesterday he was harassed and he was complaining of chest pain from the evening. The ED did not pay an ear to his complaints, and when things got worse, that is when they said he is arrested and brought him to the hospital. So the first thing that happened was not the arrest. The first thing that happened was the chest pain, and then the arrest story came up. So that is the case. Our issue is the protocol of an arrest was violated. The ED did not intimate the governor. It did not intimate the Speaker of the House about his arrest, and they went on with the arrest. So there are a lot of discrepancies. Why we say it is vindictive and why we don't trust ED on this is because he had been complaining about his health issue for the last 4 hours before he came to the hospital. So we see some serious intentions behind the ED's move.
Okay, let me just get Mohan Kumar Mangalam to add his voice to this, and then I'll open it up for the others. Mohan, I'll ask you the same question. Is this the best case to make for the claim of vendetta politics? Because if anyone were to track the history of this case, as I said, this is a gentleman who used to be with Jayalalitha. Then he switched over to Shashikala. Then he was thrown out of the AIDMK. Then he joins the DMK in 2018. At the time that he was on the other side, all of you had a very different opinion about his record. So are you going to make a case that this is a clean man, this is a non-corrupt man? What would you say?
Whether he's clean or non-corrupt is something for the courts to decide. The case we're making here is the Enforcement Directorate is merely existing today in this country to enforce the BJP's will. About since 2014, I think about 95% of the cases that they filed have been against opposition candidates. This is the similar for the CBI. And their conviction rate is below 1%. It's 0.5%. The reason why they use the ED is because of the draconian provisions of the PMLA that make it impossible to actually get bail. This is why the ED was not used in the case of Ishwarappa in Karnataka, even though someone, as my friend Hafiz mentioned, committed suicide. This is why it wasn't used in the case of Virupaksha, where even though his son was caught with 8 crores in cash, the ED never shows up when it's someone who's affiliated with the BJP or someone who's decided to move to BJP to actually go ahead and take them down the path of a real investigation. They only show up for opposition leaders. And there is no smoking gun in this case. Without getting more into the details, it is a number of people who's accused him of taking bribes. There are people who are subordinate to him who have been accused of taking bribes, but there is no real money trail. And this is exactly why the ED fails most of the times, is their inability to establish the money trail that would actually allow them to gain a conviction under PMLA. It doesn't happen most of the time. So this is why they're less than 1% in conviction rate. And which is
when you
why
when you
once
say
again,
there's no money trail, he's actually gone to court and spoken about how there's been settlements reached with the victims.
he has not gone to court and said there's settlement or compromise, which is under which the Supreme Court has come back. It is one person who's his personal assistant and another person who have gone and said that they've reached a compromise with some of the victims. It's not him. Number one. Number two, let the courts take, let the courts or let justice take its course. I'm just saying the Enforcement Directorate happens to show up at opposition leaders' doorstep every time there is a case where they can use the sweeping powers of the PMLA and end up not arriving at a conviction in any of those cases. So this is just one other case in that vein. And whether when you talk about whether the DMK or whether the Congress criticized Mr. Senthil Balaji in the past, I don't think the BJP can criticize us for that in any way. This is political rhetoric that happens in every election. The scenes that have been put out by the BJP of Mr. Stalin actually talking about Senthil Balaji during election campaign. We can just now look at what Mr. Modi was saying in Manipur when he's talked about, Meghalaya, when he said Conrad Sangma was the king of corruption, and then he partnered with him to form a government. So let's not use political rhetoric to talk about whether we should.
Let me get a brief response from Shrikant Karunesh on the ED being an instrument of the BJP, and then I'll go to the others. Mr. Karunesh.
Yeah. See, one thing we are forgetting, because Supreme Court had advised the Tamil Nadu government to take necessary action in this case. In fact, in 2016, in the very same case, Mr. Stalin had bombarded him in the election speech. He mentioned this very particular case, this money laundering. In fact, he had gone to the extent of one murder case also in his speech. That is going viral in WhatsApp now. So when he himself has blamed Senthil Balaji for this case, he demanded arrest on this case. Now they are pampering him. Now they are backing him up. Now, totally opposite. Just because he has joined DMK, he cannot become a holy man or nobleman now. One thing, totally, he has got double faces now. And second thing is, very important thing is, Supreme Court had told the Tamil Nadu government to arrest him, to make charges on Senthil Balaji. And Tamil Nadu police, and he's the CM is holding home ministry with him. He has not taken any action on this minister. So they have gone to the next extent. Now ED is taking necessary action now. And if ED is coming, they will have enough proof and evidence. Otherwise, they will not enter the secretariat. And they have taken reaction now.
Okay, we do have the statement that you're referring to when Mr. Stalin and what he said about Senthil Balaji in the past, and we'll play it out in just a second. I know, Said, you have your hand raised, but can I just give the others a chance to just come in? Let me actually take this to Sumant. Sumant, you have your hand up, and then Sriram Shishadri. Go ahead, Sumant.
Yeah, Barkha, I think if anybody thinks that this is about the 2015, 2.5 crore job racket case, I think that's being extremely naive. That may have been the starting point, but clearly this is about something much bigger. Over the last few weeks, there have been income tax raids on many close associates of Mr. Senthil Balaji. And it is very likely that something that the income tax department has picked up has been sent to the ED for a further probe, following which the ED has started its raids. You must understand one thing. Mr. Senthil Balaji is not even 5 years old in the DMK. he has been given two of the heaviest, quote unquote, meatiest portfolios in the government: electricity and prohibition, under which TASMAC, the state owned liquor enterprise, comes.
Right.
Now, nobody, I don't think even the many senior DMK leaders were extremely cut up, because they've been in the party for 35 and 40 years and they've got very ordinary.
So what does that prove? What does that prove?
No, the point is Mr. Senthil Balaji was widely seen as a kind of a conduit. Now, that is the reason why the DMK is coming out in all guns blazing to try and defend the man. It makes zero sense for the DMK.
Conduit for whom? You're basically saying that the money, the allegation you're making, Sumant Raman,
the allegation
is that
I'm
this
making is it's going somewhere else. Now you can figure out where it is going.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're basically saying that the money trail doesn't stop
but
with him.
Barkha, one second, Barkha. Just look at it very logically. An offense he committed when he was in the AIA-DMK, right? Why would the DMK, from this morning, almost every minister in the cabinet has been to the hospital, and the chief minister goes there and visits him? I mean, it makes zero sense.
So what should they do? He's their colleague. He's their colleague. What do you want them to do? He's their colleague.
Look, I will tell you one thing. There was a raid when a few weeks ago on an MLA, on the residence of an MLA of the DMK party. I think hardly 2 councillors didn't show up. This whole thing of solidarity.
I think Said's trying to get a word in.
I know. My point is, Barkha,
this Shadri and Madhavan have been waiting.
Look, the DMK's legal team is carrying out his defense. Now, Hafiz just said that we have told him he should fight the case on his own. It was the DMK's legal team. Mr. N.R. Ilango, who's a Rajya Sabha MP, was the man who was
Hafiz, do you want to
arguing
quickly
for
respond to that?
Hafiz,
do you want to quickly respond to that? That if you believed in the innocence of Senthil Balaji, you wouldn't have left him, as you yourself said, to fight his own legal battles.
He was fighting his own legal battle until the Vendetta came in. Now the actions are being taken because he is in power, because he is in DMK. Only then we need to act. That is why, see, when the DMK is a party which supports.
So if the same Mr. Balaji had been in the AIDMK, you would have been okay with it.
Why would I go and fight for an AIDMK person? Now the message is clear. They are intimidating us. They're sending a message to our ministers and cadres that if you don't listen to what BJP is saying, if you will scare, this is a scare tactics. So it becomes a duty of the leadership to stand behind a person who's been intimidated and harassed because he's from the DMK. It's as simple as that.
Okay, I know Mohan.
And one more thing.
Hafiz, let the others speak also.
BJP is a washing machine. BJP is a washing machine. You should know what Amit Shah said about Suvendu Adhikari. Where is he going to keep his face now? What is he going to talk about Mukul Rai, who was in TMC, had a different statement when he came to BJP. So he became holy and then when he went back to TMC, he's somebody there. So this rhetoric.
I take the point about political hypocrisy being uniform across the trenches. Fair enough. Let's come back to this case. Mohan, give me a second. Let Sriram and Madhavan get their first comments in, and then I'll come to you. Sriram Sheshadri, go ahead, please.
See, like someone said, this probably the arrest may be because of the 2015 case, because that is when ED can have a hold on Senthil Balaji for further probe on other evidences or other documentation they would have received from income tax or on their own money trail probe that they have been doing on various people. But the question here is Senthil Balaji's issue with the job scam is a very open and shut case. Mohan Kumar Amangalam said that he did not confirm that he had settled outside the court. Sorry, he actually filed an affidavit that he had paid back the money that he had got. That is with Madras High Court. He had filed the affidavit. That is when Madras High Court quashed that entire case, which Supreme Court picked up and warned or rather issued a stricture on Madras High Court. So that's a reality of the actual event, Barkha. So Senthil Balaji has taken money, subsequently returned that money, and then since because DMK is in power in 2021, they went to the court, and then within 3 days this case was picked up in Madras High Court, and the case was quashed, saying that since the complainant withdrew the case because it was settled outside. So the affidavit is a sworn affidavit is in the court docket that Senthil Balaji has taken the money. So the offense was committed. offense committed and then later on paid back is not the solution. That is what Supreme Court's judgment you should read thoroughly and then say that Supreme Court clearly says by repaying the commitment of the crime did not happen, still happened. So for that the case should not be closed. And they asked the state DBAC to state police to investigate and then file a charge within 2 months. Subsequently, they gave power to they gave approval to Enforcement Directorate to proceed with that case. So both happened in parallel. So that's the reality of the case. Of course, ED uses this as a front to investigate further, to further probe Senthil Balaji. It could be any other possibilities of cases that may be involved.
Basically, what you're saying, Sriram Sheshadri, is that the facts of the case are not in doubt. The politics follow. Basically, that's what we're actually trying to say here. And if the politics follow, then his political camp is going to defend him. The other side is going to attack him. But Madhavan, corruption is creating all sorts of interesting fault lines in Tamil Nadu. For example, Annamalai, the BJP chief in the state, is now under attack from the AIDMK because of his references to Jayalalitha's earlier acts of corruption. So, what goes around comes around, as it were. And the cynic might say nobody is clean. How do you see this playing out? Can we unmute Madhavan, please? Yeah, go ahead, Madhavan. Yeah.
Barkha, thanks you for bringing up this angle. We as journalists, we have to remember that both the media and the judiciary have to look beyond the usual accusations and the weaponization of which much has been said. I have a lot to say, but let me put it all very quickly. First, Supreme Court refused to interfere in the manner of weaponization of the CBI, ED, etc. for political purposes, partly because it is difficult to prove. But however, the Senthil Balaji case is very special because what appears to be visually clear is that there are third-degree sort of methods being employed. And the Supreme Court will have to pronounce on this. The police are prohibited from using physical or psychological coercion when conducting police interrogations, and that includes torture techniques, threats, drugging, or inhuman treatment.
No, are you saying Senthil Balaji has been tortured?
Yeah. Let me put it this way. If there is inhuman treatment of any kind, which is not allowed under police or interrogation procedures, the courts will have to pronounce on this. I'll be watching out for this in the coming days. It goes beyond habeas corpus. And if it is medically proved that he has a heart problem, which is very objectively provable, in that case, courts may actually intervene in this case in a way which is dramatically different from what goes on. And it is in bad taste to go on insinuating about dramebazi, even if that is part of politics. Second point, let me add a tidbit of, a nugget. I have some information that Senthil Balaji has friends across the political spectrum, including the Congress, and it's quite possible that it's not just one case that they are targeting him for. They are trying to extract politically useful information from him. And given all the whataboutery we have seen about various political leaders across various police states, BJP does use corruption cases as a lever for some kind of negotiations in political coalitions, alliances, and all, which are very critical for its party's future. The third point to note is that this is where your angle becomes very critical. Annamalai has been open in criticizing both the DMK and the ADMK, and there is enough body language as well as context, whether you take the erection of the Sengol in the National Parliament, whether you're talking programs, grassroots outreach programs like the Kashi Saurashtra Sangamam and Saurashtra Sangamam, and the release of Ponniyin Selvan, all of this falls into the context of the BJP trying to fill in a vacuum left by Jayalalitha in Tamil Nadu, and in the process also trying to bulldoze its way into Tamil Nadu politics with a very clear-cut agenda that includes a certain amount of Hindu assertion, a certain amount of anti-corruption platform, and there is a certain strategy in which Annamalai, I'll wait for a few days, because if the resolution passed against Annamalai by ADMK is any indication, in that case, Annamalai may be shooting off his own mouth. But let me just finish there. I'll wait for a few days. I need some clinching evidence. But from all indications, it appears that Mr. Amit Shah has a clear strategy to go all out as a sole or lone ranger in Tamil Nadu politics with Annamalai as his kingpin. And all this must be seen in that context.
Okay, let me actually bring. There are many things to pick up from what Madhavan has said, but I just want to touch of history, and I want to come to Mohan because Mohan's been wanting to make a point for a while. Karunanidhi, like when we look at, can we bring up those old headlines as we look at this? You see, this midnight swoop. I was a journalist in 2001. Some of us are that vintage, and so we've seen these images. We've seen these dramatized images, these dramatized debates around corruption and politicians in Tamil Nadu, Mohan, play out more than once. Is there anything different about this moment?
Well, I mean, the difference here is that the central government is actually using the tools at its disposal, not the state government. I mean, but that would be the only operative difference I can see to some extent. Beyond that, I just want to, offer a counter view to Suman's view on why Senthil Balaji is so important. So Senthil Balaji comes from the western belt of Tamil Nadu that has traditionally been a stronghold of the ADMK. And when he won his by-election after joining the DMK, it was an incredibly hard election to win. It was sort of an incredible victory of sorts, after which he went ahead and in the assembly elections as a district secretary swept his entire district. In local body elections, he was put in charge of the Kongu belt, capital of Coimbatore, if you will, and that swept those elections. So he has grown from strength to strength and is helping the DMK actually breach the citadel of the western belt of Tamil Nadu, which has always allowed the ADMK to form government despite waves that have gone against them in other places. Even in this particular election where where the DMK formed government, you still found that we were found wanting in the western belt of Tamil Nadu. So Senthil Balaji for the DMK represents a way to actually grow the DMK's vote share slowly but steadily. He's of the
That's interesting.
leader in that area, which is why he is so important. It's unfair to just term him as a conduit, as Sumant has done so, and say that that's the reason why everyone's showing up. So
okay. Sumant, jump right in. Sumant.
My mic, yeah. Barkha, I think Mohan knows very well. There was a recent by-election. I mean, when he talks about Senthil Balaji expanding the base of the DMK, he doesn't say how. There was a by-election recently in Erode where it is believed a sum of more than 100 crore was spent on a by-election. Mohan knows it only too well. The DMK, I mean, the Congress candidate there went on to win. Now, the point I'm trying to make is Mr. Senthil Balaji is seen
Are you basically alleging that Mr. Balaji is bankrolling the Congress polls? That's essentially your allegation.
Look. He actually did bankroll because the Erode election, though the Congress was the candidate, the entire campaign was run by the DMK, and Mr. Mohan will also accept that. I don't think he will deny that. That apart, there is a constant talk of Mr. Senthil Balaji being the Eknath Shinde of Tamil Nadu. In fact, there has been persistent talk for the last several months that he is the weak link who could be persuaded. And once they come over to the BJP side, they are purified. I mean, whoever it is, whether it is Narayan Rane or, the huge list is there. So they become purified. So Senthil Balaji could become pure as snow should he, choose to cooperate with the BJP. I don't think that will happen, but he is spoken of on social media. You will see many such posts calling him the.
Let's ask Shrikant Karunesh that is this the Eknath Shinde of Tamil Nadu? Are we suddenly going to see him in the chief minister's chair with the help of the BJP affiliated groups?
That's one of the wildest imagination. But what I am thinking is hearing everybody's point of view, because in this case it's very, very clear, because what he has committed, the legal action has been taken by the ED very clearly, and even they said, well, how come they can enter the secretariat? But earlier in ADMK government, when ED has entered the chief secretary's office in the same secretariat, Mr. Stalin was welcoming it. He said ED is a separate independent body. They have all the right to go. They can do the justice like this. He was welcoming it. Open statement, he said it. But now in this case, he's telling how can the ED can enter the secretariat, enter into minister's office without obtaining permission from falana, they are telling. Second thing is, what we are thinking is,
Hafiz is going on saying this. Hafiz, give me a second.
He's waving me. He's acknowledging me. I know Hafiz is acknowledging me. What to do? So what I think is the same Hafiz and DMK, they would have taken a different stand had Senthil Balaji been in ADMK. Now they would have bombarded him because it is the same case. They have been accusing him on the face of this minister by naming him in the same area. What he is telling, stronghold of Konganadu area. He went to Karur in his place, and Stalinji was talking on that day. So now, just because he's in the party and every media is mentioning he is the cash box, he is the Karulam Tamil mein sab log bol rahe hain. So yahi hai. So everybody is pampering him. So that is the case now.
It's fascinating.
Even when Kanimali was arrested, no, this much hangama nahi hua hai yahan pe. Even when Kanimali was arrested, this much minister did not go there.
So what makes Balaji so important? Is he the cash box? What is it? Hafiz, before you do any more of this, let me play out the statement of MK Stalin. Once again, Madhavan, hang on. I see everybody's hand waving. I want to play out, this video was tweeted by Mr. Annamalai earlier today. Let's listen it.
இந்த மாவட்டத்தில் ஒருத்தர் இருந்தார், அமைச்சர் செந்தில் பாலாஜி. அவரை பத்தி சொல்ல வேண்டிய அவசியமே இல்லை. ஏற்கனவே 15 முறை அமைச்சரவை மாத்தினப்போ இவரை மட்டும் மாற்ற மாட்டாங்க. அந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு முக்கியத்துவமான அமைச்சராக இருந்தார். அந்த செந்தில் பாலாஜி அமைச்சரவை 15 முறை ஏற்கனவே மாத்தி அமைச்சாங்க. அப்பெல்லாம் அவரை மாத்தல, சீனியர் அமைச்சர்லாம் மாத்தினாங்க. ஆனா இந்த ஜூனியர் அமைச்சரை மாத்திரம் மாத்தல. இடையில அந்த அம்மா ஜெயிலுக்கு போனப்போ யாரை முதலமைச்சராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கலாம்னு சொல்றப்போ அந்த பட்டியலில் இவர் இருந்தாருங்க. இவர் கெட்ட கேடு செந்தில் பாலாஜி பேர் இருந்துச்சுங்க. அப்போ இதான் வேடிக்கை. ஆக இன்னைக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவர் மட்டும் இல்ல, ஒட்டுமொத்தமாக பாலாஜியினுடைய தம்பி இந்த கரூர் மாவட்டத்தை தன்னுடைய கட்டுப்பாட்டில் வச்சிருக்கிறாரு. கட்டுப்பாடுனா கொள்ளையடிக்கிறதுல, ஊழல் செய்யறதுல, லஞ்சம் வாங்குறதுல, அந்த கட்டுப்பாட்டில் வச்சிருக்கிறாரு. இதெல்லாம் கரூர் மாவட்டத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த குளித்தலை தொகுதியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் நன்றாக தெரியும். ஆள் கடத்தல், நில அபகரிப்பு புகார்கள் எல்லாம் இன்னைக்கு நீதிமன்றத்தில் இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி பேருந்துகளுக்காக ஒரு கருவி வாங்கினாங்க, டிக்கெட் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு ஒரு கருவி, ஜிஎஸ்பி கருவி. அந்த கருவியில ஊழல் நடந்திருக்குன்னு சட்டமன்றத்தில் நான் தான் ஆதாரத்தோடு எடுத்து பேசினேன். இது வரைக்கும் முறையான மறுப்பு கிடையாது. அது மட்டும் இல்ல, பொறியியல் படிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்த ஒரு இளைஞன் கோகுல் என்பவரை கடத்தி அவனை கொலை மிரட்டல் செஞ்சு அவனுடைய சொத்துக்களை எல்லாம் பறிமுதல் செஞ்சு அவன் அதற்கு பிறகு அந்த குடும்பத்தை சார்ந்தவர்கள் நீதிமன்றத்துக்கு போய் அந்த பிரச்சனை இப்ப நீதிமன்றத்தில் இருக்கு. இப்ப எங்க இருக்காருன்னு தெரியல. அந்த கோகுல் தலைமறைவாகி எங்க இருக்கிறார் என்று தெரிய முடியாத நிலையில இன்றைக்கு இருந்து கொண்டிருக்கு. அது மட்டுமா, அரசு கேபிள் டிவி நிறுவனத்துக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டிலே அதிகமாக பணம் கட்டக்கூடிய எந்த மாவட்டம் கேட்டீங்கன்னா இந்த கரூர் மாவட்டம் தான் அதிகமான அளவுக்கு பணம் கட்டிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு கேபிள் டிவியை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும். ஏனென்றால் இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய லோக்கல் சேனல் எல்லாம் செந்தில் பாலாஜியினுடைய பினாமி பெயரில் தான் இருக்கு. போக்குவரத்து துறையினுடைய அமைச்சராக இருந்து அந்த துறையில நடத்துனர் பணிக்கு 3 லட்சம், மெக்கானிக் பணிக்கு 6 லட்சம் என்று கொடுத்து ஏமாந்திருக்கக்கூடியவர்கள் லட்சக்கணக்கானவர். இது குறித்து 48 பேர் புகாரும் கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. ஆள் கடத்தல் புகாருக்கு உள்ளான அவருக்கு இப்போது தேர்தலில் போட்டியிட, அது வேறு ஒரு தொகுதியிலே போட்டியிட அவருக்கு வாய்ப்பு கிடைச்சிருக்கு.
So Mr. Stalin is Hafiz listing the prices. 3 lakhs for 3 lakhs for conductor, 6 lakhs for mechanic. About Mr. Balaji.
Yes.
Yes, you want to respond, Hafiz? Can we unmute Hafiz, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem here is we are not saying about any legal action. This is about the way ED is behaving. The inhuman violation of human right for 18 continuous hours. He was being harassed by investigating agencies. Despite telling he has chest pain, he was not given medical attention for 3 hours. Only things got complicated. He was allowed to. No, when I said if they are quoting this, the whole corruption happened during the ADMK government, Jayalalitha's government. Senthil Balaji cannot be isolated out of the government. Now you are in alliance with that same party which ran the government. You asked what?
That is a fair question. That is why I'm saying it's a zero sum. That is a fair question. That is a fair question, and I want Shriram Shishadri to come in. I know Mr. Karunesh had his hand up, but Shriram Shishadri.
Authority today.
No, that is a fair question.
Vijay Bhaskar has corruption allegations. Annamalai and the whole BJP asked vote for him. Velumani had. Amit Shah came and asked vote for him. So where is the moral authority then?
Okay, let me get Sriram Sheshadri. Is the BJP, who's looking to build an alliance with the AIDMK, on whose watch Senthil Balaji commits all of these violations of the law, allegedly, then doesn't the BJP, Sriram Sheshadri, lose the moral force to make this argument? It's all politics, basically. Everybody has a skeleton in their cupboard.
Yeah, it's all politics. Everybody has a skeleton in the cupboard. And I'm still of the opinion that ADMK BJP alliance may or may not happen for 2024. Because I have voiced my opinion several times in public forum and in many other channels. Shrikant may not like it, but at the same time, I voiced that, saying that why they should not align also. I have been voicing my opinion. So it's unfair to ask me why related to BJP.
You're not in favor of this alliance, basically.
I'm not in favor of this alliance. In fact, somehow my recommendations to leadership in BJP is not to go with ADMK for 2024, at least if not for other elections. So that has been my recommendation as well. But coming back to this, it's a catch-22 situation for both the ADMK and DMK. Because this corruption happened during ADMK Jayalalitha's period as a chief minister, and ADMK cannot celebrate the arrest of Senthil Balaji on this case. At the same time, DMK also, it's a catch-22 situation because Stalin was the one who actually talked about this corruption, this particular corruption, every rally that he was addressing until 2008, until Senthil Balaji joined DMK. So both the parties have, it's a embarrassment for them to either defend or celebrate. Both have to have a distance. But one interesting point is, since yesterday afternoon, the DMK's reaction to the particular raid in Senthil Balaji's house and in Secretariat. Likewise, Karur SP said when income tax raid happened, they didn't tell us in advance that they are coming for a raid. What a ridiculous statement by a superintendent of police. Income tax should not, they don't even reveal where they are going for a raid. So that's a sort of frenzy.
Sure.
And then DMK talked about, in fact, Senthil Balaji's brother is not even a DMK member. I just presume that he is not a DMK member or an office bearer. At least he is not an office bearer. Second is, they also claim that, income tax has come for a raid when CM is out of country. What another ridiculous statement. They have every right to come for a raid whether the CM is in station or not, right?
Absolutely.
And yesterday, under his own nose, under the CM's nose, they went to the Secretariat. And in the previous government also, they went to the Secretariat for the Chief Secretary. But this is to the cabinet minister, one of the strong cabinet minister under Mr. Stalin. They went and then raided and then did the investigation.
So basically, I think you've captured the catch-22 for both the major Tamil parties. Madhavan, we literally have 2-3 minutes left. Madhavan, go ahead. Madhavan?
Quickly I'll throw some interesting factoids in front of you. First of all, I'm wondering whether we are in Republic of India or Republic of Amnesia, because everybody seems to conveniently forget corruption when it comes to political convenience. That joke apart, the important point is that Senthil Balaji belongs to the Gounder caste, which is the dominant, they are like the Jats of the western part of Tamil Nadu. And to that extent, that is the same community from which Edappadi Ramaswamy, who's the arch rival of Mr. Stalin today in Tamil Nadu politics, comes from. So Senthil Balaji is a very important rook or bishop in the chessboard on Tamil Nadu. Let me also tantalizingly mention, in a very seemingly unconnected way, that the shining star of Tamil Nadu's politics, the finance minister, PTR, was moved out to IT after an audio tape leak. We still don't know the origins of the dubious.
And Mr. Annamalai is talking about part 2 of these tapes. But go ahead.
So these tapes have a connection with whatever is going on, and I can't tell you more because I don't have evidence. But the point is that there is a plan out to capture Tamil Nadu, in which there are some free agents available for either arm twisting or for useful, as they say, some people are useful idiots. And all this is going on. I can tell my friends in Bollywood to make a Netflix series on this because I don't have plenty evidence, but I can tell you I've been long enough in this business to smell things beyond what the noses show.
Okay, I do have to close, but I just thought I'd close with a very interesting, we always find that when we do shows and we have people from the south of India, this is the kind of feedback we get from our audience. Prasad says, Barkha, please tell all your guests that they appear super enthusiastic and all smiles today. Clearly, this is an energizing topic for everyone. I actually find that the beautiful thing about having guests from the southern states is nobody is horribly rude to anybody and everybody smiles at the end of the show. So we in the north have something to learn. Sumant, are you itching to get a last point in?
Just
itching.
one,
okay, go ahead.
Two very quick points. One, the room that was searched in the Secretariat was not the room occupied by him in 2015. It's a completely different department, completely, so that itself is a clue as to perhaps they were looking for something else, not related to this case.
Okay,
second,
Hafiz,
very important, please hold your horses. Picture abhi baki hai.
Hafiz, 30 seconds.
You're right, Suman.
Hafiz.
They think BJP is chasing a white rabbit with high dreams of capturing seats in Tamil Nadu, which is not going to happen. And all the more if you try to arm twist and capture Tamil Nadu, the people of Tamil Nadu will chase you away. You have 2.9% of vote. This time you'll land up with 1.9% vote. Understand this emotion of Tamil Nadu. They've always been against power used by the center, and by a very rude means you are rude and illegal means you are using this power. This will not stand.
Now I must allow 30 seconds to Mr. Karunesh. Go ahead, Shrikant.
And I should tell Mr. Hafiz very much, don't worry about our percentage of votes because DMK 2 files is getting ready. Very soon it will be released. Then the 2.9 will become 29. So don't worry about our percentage of votes. Annamalai is working very hard on it. So people will know how much of quantum of money is looted by the ruling parties now.
Okay, so the next set of audio tapes is coming. Mohan, your 30 seconds. Mohan?
This moment to thank Mr. Sriram Sheshadri for conveying to the BJP leadership that the BJP should be contesting all 39 alone. I want to profusely thank him because I know what the outcome of that is going to be and I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much, Sriram.
Sriram, let's give you the last word. Where will the BJP be if they take your advice?
So whether they are with the ADMK or go on their own, the result is going to be the same. That's what my suggestion has been. But coming back to this, between yesterday and today, if you go to the masses and then ask for a survey, 2 to 3% vote share jump for BJP. Because that is what is the reality of this, a decisiveness. If they take it to a closure of this case, real closure, I bet there is going to be a jump in vote percentage for BJP because of the decisiveness.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. I have to say thank you to all my guests and also thank you for basically smiling through what in the north would have led to a chikha chilli, as they say in India, shouting match. Really do appreciate the conviviality of this conversation in such a hot potato subject. Thank you to Hafiz, Shrikant, Sriram, Sumant, and to Mohan and to our audience. Thanks as ever. See you tomorrow. Take care.
We started Mojo right here in this basement. Just 4 people, 4. And now we're about to hit our first 1 million subscribers. So this is to say thank you to all of you for your support, for your respect, and for your encouragement. We've always gone to where the story is. During the pandemic, when television's big anchors were hunkered down in their studios or at their homes, we hit the road. We traveled from Delhi to Kerala, covering 30,000 kilometers in a small car, reporting from inside ICUs and inside slum tenements. Whether it's flash floods or war zones, we've always put our boots on the ground. In fact, we're just back from Punjab, tailing the Khalistani fugitive Amritpal Singh. And through all of this, we have always put you, the people, first. In an age of partisan polarized media where most journalists are either chamcha ya morcha, we believe the story is sacred and the truth of the story is what matters. And now as we get ready for the next step, we need your help. Become a Mojo member and get first access to all our big interviews. Get a chance to ask our newsmakers questions. Get a chance to write and report for us for both our website and our channels. And also, interact with me and my colleagues directly through AMA sessions, literally Ask Me Anything. Click on the join now right next to the subscribe button, and yes, also subscribe if you haven't yet, and become a Mojo member for just 159 rupees a month. Hope to see lots of you in our community.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.